ist noch Musik an. Die mache ich mal aus. Ja, da bin ich schon wieder. Ich spiele Horace. Oder wie auch immer er ausgesprochen wird. Horace? Vielleicht Horace? Weiß ich nicht. Bin aber gleich zurück. Ich muss mal ganz dringend noch was zu trinken holen. Und würde sagen, bis gleich. Drück schon mal einen Knopf. Aber wir machen definitiv ein neues Spiel. Ich habe zwar schon mal angefangen, aber man soll ja von vorne anfangen, wenn man es eine Weile nicht gespielt hat. Bis gleich. Ich weiß nicht, wie laut das ist. Huch. Was geht denn jetzt? Alter Schwede. Ich glaube, mein Controller hat ein paar Issues. Menü. Läuft aber nicht so geschmeidig. Alter, hier Pionierstart, ne? Mein Göttchen. Was denn jetzt schon wieder los? Da will man nur eine Runde daddeln, ne? Dann sowas. Ich den Button nicht nach rechts gedrückt. Sehr witzig. Ich frage mich, ob das am Controller liegt. Hallo? Wenn es mal schnell gehen soll. Nein, wie unprofessionell, schlecht vorbereitet. Ah, okay. Wie reagiert er hier gerade gar nicht, ne? Menü? Meine ganzen Controller wollen nicht mehr. Die lassen mich alle im Stich. Ich glaube, ich nehme die grausame Lösung. Ich nehme einfach einen X-Controller per Kabel. Muss ich mir wenigstens keine Gedanken machen, dass der Akku leer sein könnte. Gleich wieder da. Puh, fängt ja gut an hier. Montage. So. Hello Lucky. Willkommen zurück. Auch lange nicht gesehen, ne? Ich habe einen Controller angeschlossen. Der geht. Ui. Hat ein paar technische Schwierigkeiten hier gehabt. Untertitel an ja, Steuerung. Zurück, zurück. Ein neues Spiel starten. Ein ganz neues Spiel starten. Jetzt wird's spannend. Es ist schon ein bisschen niedlich, das Spiel. Initializing. Die Aufgabe? Ach so, Schule. Ja. Hier wird gerade der kleine Roboter zusammengebaut. Er erinnert mich manchmal ein bisschen an Lego, obwohl seine Augen niedlicher sind. Ist der Ton laut genug? Muss der Roboter erstmal laufen lernen. Sieht auch noch ein bisschen gewagt aus, ne? Aber er kann's.
And so, I was born. The first people I remember seeing were the old man, the old lady, and their daughter, Heather. After they'd said hello, the old man powered me down so he could install some software. I could tell they were nice people. The old man didn't give me a silly voice or stupid personality. And the old lady didn't dress me like a clown. Although for some reason, Heather really didn't like me. Once I'd had time to get used to walking, the old man asked me to dash from one end of the room to the other.
Oh, jetzt hat er schon wirklich laufen gelernt, ne? Er ist schon ein bisschen cool, der Dude.
Next, the old man spent a couple of hours building some wooden platforms. He said he wanted me to jump up them, but I must admit, I was scared. It wasn't until I saw Heather and her mother happily climbing up them that I decided it might be okay. The old man then rearranged the platforms. He told me to try to reach the other end of the room without touching the floor. Heather said the floor
is
made of
lava.
lava. But when I smiled at her, she just frowned and looked away. The old lady arranged some pillows and blankets. She said it was in case I fell, but I think she just wanted it to look more like lava.
Ui. Jetzt bin ich aber, was? Wie soll ich da rüberkommen? Nee. Ist doch viel zu weit weg. Oh. Ja, das war jetzt mein Fehler. Jetzt habe ich noch weniger aufgepasst. Fängt ja gut wieder an. Ich sag ja Montage, ne? Oh. Bin mir ehrlich unsicher, wie ich da rüberkommen soll. Kann er jetzt nicht wahr sein. Ist da noch ein Trick? X drücken. Ach, ich hab den X-Button nicht gesehen gehabt. Oh. Springen vergessen.
When I reached the other side,
Geht doch.
the old man just smiled and said, "That'll do, for now."
Sah ein bisschen aus wie My Little
A couple of
Pony
days
gerade.
after those first lessons, the family had a big meal, and I was introduced to everyone else. The professor was the old man's brother. He was very quiet, and always seemed to just kind of stare at me. He had lived with the old man for 5 years. The house was so huge they barely saw each other. He preferred instead to stay in his room, leaving everything up to his butler, Mr. Deck, as he insisted everyone call him, although the professor always called him Anton. For a while, he called me the yellow bastard, but the old man made him stop, as he thought it sounded racist. Mr. Silton was the old man's driver. Before he worked here, he'd gotten in with some bad people and was the driver in a post office robbery, although it all went wrong for some reason. Mr. Silton showed me a video of his band. I'm sure some people must like it, but I just found it terrifying. Then there was Alice. She was the cook. She was a nice old lady. When she was younger, she had been a TV chef. Then, years later, she had a small part in Coronation Street. Mr. Silton said, before she worked for the old man, Alice was quite a hoarder. She kept old newspapers and bicycles. And something about a poo in a shoebox. The next morning, the old man gathered everyone together to show them what I was capable of. "What else does he do?" asked Mr. Silton. The old man smiled. "He can help around the house." "Could he help me with my newspaper collecting?" asked Alice. "I'm not sure that's a good idea," said the old lady, "but he can do all sorts of jobs." "Yeah," said Mr. Silton, "shove a stick up his ass and he can do Deck's job." Now, said the old man, "we have company," pointing to some important-looking people. 2 large men, both called Gary, set up what the old man referred to as lasers. He said again, I should try to get from one end of the room to the other, but I shouldn't be worried, as I had a special chip which meant no matter how damaged I was, I couldn't die. He said it was like infinite lives in a video game. But when he realized I didn't understand, he said he would explain another time.
Videospiele erklärt bekommen ist immer gut, glaube ich. Stimmt, ich sterbe nicht. Ich wollte es nochmal ausprobieren.
Everybody clapped, except the important-looking men. Not exactly a cold, calculated killer, is it? Said the man in black. The man in grey laughed. What kind of artificial intelligence was that? He asked. Move right, unless there's something in the way. Okay, said the old man. He turned to me and whispered, they're going to make it quite a bit tougher, but I'm sure you'll be fine.
Jetzt war ich zu zaghaft. Jetzt kommt aber schnell zurück. Oh, ach die Füße. Oh. Eieiei. Ich glaube, ich war schon mal besser an den Spielen. Echt jetzt? Komm, das war doch schon vorbei. Man immer alles so genau nehmen muss. Echt. Ich habe mich gerade eben wieder geduckt. So. Schnell weg hier. Damn. Nochmal. Jetzt aber. Wenn ich nicht sehe, was unter mir ist, habe ich immer ein bisschen Angst, ne?
The Garys then rearranged the room one last time. The old man smiled. Now, there's no need to look so glum, he said. I'm still happy with everything you've done today. So this time, I was determined to do him proud.
Oh shit. Ist nicht wahr, oder? Das geht besser.
The old man's friends
Ooh.
actually seemed quite happy when I made it through. We might have a winner after all, said the man in black. It's no Killbot 3000, but you can almost see the fire in its eyes. A couple of days later, the old lady said she had a surprise for me, my own room. She also wanted to play me some music. I wasn't sure after what Mr. Silton had shown me.
Musik kann was echt Schönes sein.
As if music wasn't amazing enough, the old lady then bought me a television set. I couldn't believe what I saw. I watched everything I could. Comedy, drama, horror, sci-fi. Anything anyone wanted to watch I would happily watch with them. Then one day, the old man set up a small box. He plugged some cables into the television and said, "This is what I meant when I said video games." I played games at every chance I could. I took on everyone. I was unstoppable. I had enjoyed music, film, and television. But to me, video games really were the highest art form.
Das klingt so ein bisschen wie mein Leben. Das kriegen wir. What? Den habe ich doch gekriegt.
Heather's birthday was a couple of months later. Her mum and dad had bought her a camera and arranged a day out by the sea so that Heather could take some photos, although I really don't think she wanted any pictures of me. When the old man asked the professor if he wanted to go, he frowned and said, "I can't believe you want to spend time with that thing, it could destroy the world." I wasn't sure what he meant, but the old man just smiled and said, "That's what you said about the Game Boy. Anton, how about you?" "I don't think so," said Mr. Deck. "The last time I got in that car, Barry crashed us into a branch of Woolworths. I never would have gone into Woolworths of my own accord." The old man explained that the car was old and the brakes had failed, but Mr. Deck was having none of it. So Mr. Silton drove, and Alice came along for the fresh air. I enjoyed being outside. Although, the old lady kept telling me to be careful of the rickety old walkways. It felt like she was telling me off, but I think she was just concerned. As the old man and I stood on the cliff tops, I could see something in the distance. I wasn't sure what it was, so I asked the old man. He said it was a battleship that had sunk in the 1940s. But he looked so sad when he spoke about war. I didn't see what happened, but the metal platform Heather was climbing on had collapsed. She was safe, even if the rocks she was on looked very dangerous. The tide was rising, and we didn't know how long the Coast Guard was going to be, so I offered to climb down and get her. The old man agreed, but
Ja, die
said
ist
I should
niedlich,
be
ne?
careful, as Heather doesn't have infinite lives, like I do.
Ich war auch überrascht, als ich das erste Mal angespielt hatte. Ich hatte aber nicht weit gespielt. Oh, Stromkabel, echt jetzt? Uff.
Heather was unconscious, and her leg was broken, so I picked her up as
Das war
gently
knapp.
as I could. I decided it would be best if I didn't run the rest of the way.
No! Why?
An ambulance had arrived by the time I had made it back to the cliff top. The medics made sure Heather was okay, and then took her off to hospital. A few days later, we all went to see how she was doing. She was fine, but would have to wear the cast for a couple of months.
Ja, da werden sie wohl doch noch Freunde, ne?
Once Heather got to know me, we became good friends. We enjoyed the same films and TV. She was also annoyingly good at some of my favorite games. After a while, she became very interested in how I worked. Soon she knew as much about me as the old man did, if not more. We spent the next couple of months visiting other countries, as when it came to teaching me things, the old man always liked to pick interesting locations. He had explained the basics of mathematics to me at the Great Pyramid of Egypt. Taught me history in the dead of night, surrounded by mysterious giant stones. And even showed me science in action high up in a hot air balloon. This is why I was surprised when the old man took me to a restaurant. It was nice, but it seemed very somber compared to the previous grand locations. He said he just wanted to chat, and this was nice and quiet. Plus it was his favorite place to eat. We talked about life, the universe, Douglas Adams, everything really. When I asked him why were we here, why did we exist, he just smiled and said, life is like a game, just don't expect to be finished anytime soon. When I looked puzzled, he said, well, everyone should have a purpose. So I asked him, what's my purpose? He thought for a bit, then said, so you want to be a real boy? Which just confused me even more. Eventually the old man said, for now, I want you to help clean things around the house. I must have looked unimpressed, as he then said, okay. I want you to clean 1,000,000 things. It didn't sound like the meaning of life, but I suppose you've got to start somewhere.
Ja, steigst halt zum Putzroboter auf, ne?
The next day,
In der
the
Roomba.
old man said he wanted to install some more software, so he powered me down. When I came to, he said Mr. Silton had a joke for me, and that I should pull his finger. I don't think I got the joke. So the old man powered me down again. This time when I pulled Mr. Silton's finger, I got the joke. But it wasn't very funny. The old man then explained that he had installed a special chip which allowed me to clean away anything that was broken. He said it also tells me how many things are nearby, and how many smaller things are in a bigger thing. It all sounded very complicated, but he said all I really had to do was pause, and it would bring up all the information I needed. He then said he wanted me to find and clean all of the items in the room. He told me there would be some chains to climb, but that would be nice and easy, as I just had to press up. He then finished by saying, when I had collected all the items, I should come back here.
Müll hier 135. Eigener Müll 0. Und Müll insgesamt 0. Muss ich echt Müll sammeln, ne? Das ist schon ein bisschen abgedreht, ne? Eine 18er Müllkombo. Mit Schwingen. Oh nee. Wo kam das denn jetzt her? Wenigstens muss man den Müll nicht von vorne einsammeln. Kommen bestimmt gleich wieder die Elektrodinger. War noch nicht allen Müll. Ein Stück noch. Wo hab ich? Oh, hier.
The old man then asked the old lady Heather and I to follow him outside. I was happy too, as it was a lovely hot day. The old man said he was worried that Alice had been hoarding again. She had filled up a small barn with old bicycles and newspapers. Heather said, this would be a perfect chance to properly test my new powers. The old man thought for a second, then said, using the steptoe chip, I should find and clean at least 300 things.
Uha.
When we explained to Alice what we wanted to do, she seemed scared. But after the old lady kindly explained that, well, the barn was starting to smell, she said it would be okay. One last thing, said the old man. If you want to use a door, just push up. When I was about to enter the old barn, Mr. Silton said he had seen some mushrooms growing inside. He asked me to give him any that I found. He then winked, but I wasn't sure why.
Okay. Ironisch finde immer wieder an solchen Spielen. Zu Hause habe ich auch keinen Bock sauber zu machen und hier macht man's, ne? Zauberpilz ist das richtige Wort, ne? Ui, das ist aber viel Müll hier. Das sind die Zauberpilze. Oder da waren sie gerade eben. Ein 17er Müllkombo. Die Story ist niedlich, ne? Aber ein Müllkombo ist schon wieder ein bisschen ganz schön spacig. Oh Gott, ich habe Angst zu springen, ne? Hui. Ein Stück noch. No! Mal gucken, wo die Story noch hingeht, ne? Oh! Wir brauchen die Stromleitung. Oh nein, jetzt bin ich... Oh, ich bin runtergefallen, ne? Ich glaube, ich muss nochmal hoch. Entschuldigung. Ah. No. Danke, danke. Scheiße. Jetzt aber. Um Gottes Willen. Noch mehr Magic Mushrooms. Zwinker, zwinker. Oh nein, ich habe das Kabel voll übersehen, wa? Betriebsblind. Ja. Ich finde die Mucke total beruhigend, wa? Oh nein. Ist ja auch Beethovens... Ist das Mozart? Ich habe jetzt gerade... Oh scheiße, ich habe jetzt gerade irgendwie an Beethovens Elise gedacht. Au. Ich glaube, das war Beethoven. Elise nennt sich das Lied. Oder Elise. Genau irgendwas? Nein. Ich glaube, ich habe alles. So. Nochmal die letzten Räume checken. Alles aufgeräumt. Alles gut aus. Okidoki, Silly.
The old man was very happy with everything that I had cleaned. But I think Mr. Silton was even more happy with his mushrooms.
No, no. Vielleicht lassen ihn die Pilze erwachsen.
It wasn't the days getting shorter, or the evenings getting colder. It was the falling leaves that really made me feel sad. As we watched the trees blowing in the breeze, the old lady said, "The leaves must fall before the blossom comes." She had already explained the seasons to me, so for once, I actually understood. But it didn't make me feel any better. The old lady obviously had enough of my moping, and said, "Right, next week we're going to have a party." For some reason she insisted that we were all going to wear costumes. Heather was very excited and said, "I've got some perfect ideas."
Willkommen zurück. Jetzt ist Halloween-Time. Um 7 Uhr abends? Party?
It was terrifying. Everyone was dressed like someone else. I think I was meant to be some kind of pumpkin, as everyone kept shouting, "It's the Great Pumpkin." Still, at least Mr. Silton was having fun telling everyone his joke. And I suppose Heather's costume was quite flattering.
Das klingt nicht verkehrt.
After what seemed like forever, everybody left, and things got back to normal. Heather was allowed to watch a scary film before she went to bed, but I had to help Alice and Mr. Deck clean up. I wasn't happy about this, but the old man said if I was quick, then I could watch the end of the film with them. Alice was vacuuming, and Mr. Deck was taking down the decorations. So I thought I should clean up the plates and glasses.
Ja, das verstehe ich. Glaube, ich muss mich hier auch gerade mal beeilen. Ich will ja das Ende des Films gucken. Das Ende des Films.
The ear-splitting sound was the fire alarm. As usual, Mr. Deck blamed Mr. Silton, saying he was probably smoking one of his jazz cigarettes.
Jazz?
But then the professor appeared. He said that there was something burning in the kitchen. Alice looked confused, saying that she hadn't cooked anything since the morning. We were all surprised when Mr. Deck opened the oven.
Bestimmt die
Inside
Pilze, ne?
was a large black cloak and a slightly burnt pair of men's underwear. Suddenly the old lady burst in. She looked terrified. She kept shouting, "There's someone on the roof." When we went outside, it slowly became obvious that it was Mr. Silton. He was completely naked and playing his guitar. He shouted down, "When I finish this song, I'm going to fly." The old lady said, "Oh my God, I know this one, there's only about 30 seconds left." The old man then quickly turned to me and said, "You know what to do."
Oh. No way! Immer dieser Zeitdruck. Oh oh.
By the time I had made it up to the roof, Mr. Silton was beside the edge. I tried to calm him down, but he was acting even more bizarre than usual.
Ich glaube, er hat die Pilze gegessen. Er hat definitiv die Pilze gegessen.
After an hour or so, Mr. Silton was fine. He said he had eaten some bad magic mushrooms. Part of me wondered why he hadn't doubled in size. Still, he was soon laughing and joking with the paramedics. One of them said he looked like the world's worst clown. I don't think Mr. Silton liked that. So he told his own joke. But that just made the other paramedic call him Marshmallow Marso. I don't think he liked that either. But at least he was still in one piece.
Ja, das glaube ich auch. Oh, was ist das?
A month or so later, Heather and I were playing video games, when the old man said he wanted me to come outside. He said it had been a year since I had arrived, so he had
Ich
a
habe noch nie
present
Pilze
for me.
genascht. Will ich auch gar nicht.
He placed the teddy bear high up on a wooden platform. He then told me I should try to pick it up.
Juhu. Und dann? Oh. Was? Wir versuchen es aufzuheben. Verarscht er mich doch, oder?
Try as I might, I couldn't reach the teddy bear. However, I still don't understand what happened next.
Ich krieg neue Schuhe. Spezialschuhe. Daher der Karton. Oh no. Was ist passiert? Ja, damit habe ich jetzt auch nicht gerechnet. Oh nein. Oh oh. Aber ganz schön, ja. Aber irgendwie traurig. Das kann es noch nicht gewesen sein. Hm. Ich glaube, er träumt. Oh ja, aber ich glaube auch sehr seltsam. Oh Gott.
Was I dead? Was this heaven? It sort of looked like
Ich
the
glaube, das war nur
basement
ein normaler
bathroom.
Traum. Ui. Natürlich
It
erstmal den
was the
Hut. Ne?
shoes the old man was
Ah, nee, die
going to
Schuhe.
give me. I thought I might as well put them on. They were just the right size. The old man's hat fit me pretty good as well. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if I wore it. Amazingly, the shoes allowed
What?
me to defy gravity. Or maybe it was the hat.
Okay, das ist abgefahren. Ui. Ach, so ein paar Kurzschlüsse gehen bestimmt. Okay, das ist abgefahren. Oh mein Gott. Geht das Spiel jetzt die ganze Zeit so?
Part of the basement was flooded, and the stairs had collapsed. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I wanted to get back upstairs.
Ja, ne?
The gate was locked. I would need a key to open it.
Ist klar, ich soll da runterspringen? Das war wohl ein Scherz. Wie er die Krawatte hält. Bin mir jetzt gerade ein bisschen unsicher, wie ich da hinkommen soll. Na, deswegen. Echt? Wow, okay, das ist freaky. Wenn ich mich so fallen lasse, dann falle ich auch noch in die Richtung. Ich versuche es so wenig wie möglich zu machen. Gott. Ist das freaky.
How long had I been asleep? Months? Years? I was so confused. Where had everybody gone?
Wette, es sind schon so viele Jahre verstrichen. Irgendwas da oben, wo ich rankommen könnte? Oh nein. Vollkommen
I
unnütz
was slightly
gewesen.
scared. This was the first time I had been outside on my own.
Tada!
I knew what I had to do. This had to be my purpose. I would clean a million things, so I could become a real boy. Whatever that meant.
Der gute 8-Bit-Stil. Da schreit doch jemand.
The screaming was coming from one of the bedrooms, but the stairs were blocked by a wall of fire.
Oh Gott, entschuldige. Oh nein.
The people screaming turned out to be a man, a woman, and their children. They were confused and terrified. At first the man looked like he was ready to fight me, but after I convinced them that I was there to help, he calmed down. There was no way I could carry them all at once, so the children went first. I dropped the children off at the front door and promised them that I would be back with their parents.
Oh. Das stimmt, ne? Vielleicht waren ja die Roboter die Ursache. Oder die Roboter sind inzwischen böse.
The fire was getting much worse, so the woman went next.
Hä?
When we got to the front door, all the woman said was, "Thank you, please hurry."
Wo bin ich denn jetzt?
By the time I managed to get back, the man was unconscious. I had to pick him up quickly, as I could tell the house was going to collapse at any moment.
Hat ja Handschuhe an. Oh no. Oh Gott, der ist schwer. Der ist echt schwer, der Typ, ne?
I helped the family set up a tent so they had somewhere to stay. The kids were excited as they got to camp outside, but I think they knew they had just lost their home. When I mentioned my quest to clean a million things, the man said I should look through the rubble of the house, as they had no use for it. So, when everyone was making dinner, I looked through the wreckage.
Das wäre doch zu leicht
There wasn't
gewesen.
anything I could clean, but to my astonishment, I found a TV set and a games console. With a bit of fiddling I was able to get them to work. So I sat playing games with the kids until their parents said it was bedtime. As we talked, the man opened a bottle of wine. I asked what had happened, why was everything so ruined? The man looked at the woman, then the woman sighed and said, "There was a war." "Yes, a war," said the man. One side of the planet attacked the other, and before we knew, it was all over. Everything gone. Everything destroyed.
Just... What?
"Well, it's late," said the woman. "We should really get some sleep. Help yourself to anything you need, and we'll see you tomorrow." In the morning, I asked the man if he knew what had caused the fire that had destroyed their house. The man smiled. "Crap old house, bad wiring, constant electrical surges from the unreliable power plant. Take your pick,"
Oder das Kind im Hintergrund.
he said. "If we had the money, we'd move to the mainland. But we can barely feed ourselves. let alone buy a new house, so for now we're left here with the rest of the scum. But he did say I should head to the mainland, as there would be plenty there for me to clean, and a better quality of rubbish. The man said, before the war, my lovely wife used to be a fisherman. Fisherwoman? Fishing person? I used to catch fish, interrupted the woman, and, seeing as you saved us all from the fiery end, maybe you would like to borrow my boat to get to the mainland. I was a little scared, but then they gave me some captain software and I was an old salty sea dog within minutes.
Bestimmt. Wow, ich habe schon 5000 Müll gesammelt. Ich glaube, man muss in dem Spiel hier wirklich 1 Million Müll sammeln, ne? Oh, go! Ah, nee. Move. Moins, moins. Stimmt noch aus der Zeit vor dem Krieg.
The gate was locked. I would need a key to open it.
Heilige Makrele, das war easy. Oh Gott. Oh, das war nicht der Plan. Ein 10er Müllkombo. Ja, ich glaube, die Roboter hatten Krieg. Oh. Oh, ich bin in den Himmel gefallen. Oh. Der war auch gut. Was ist hier los? Ah, guck mal, selbst die ganzen Einschusslöcher hier im Haus, ne? Gab ja ein richtige Rambazamba hier. Go. Move. So. Oh, was, wie viel Müll ist denn hier noch? Ich glaube, es war ein Müllkrieg. Immer noch 274 verbleibend.
The gate was locked.
Und ich
I would
brauche
need a
Schlüssel.
key to open it.
Natürlich brauche ich überall Schlüssel.
I was surprised to see an old man, but not as surprised as he was.
Was ist denn das,
It
Ray
turned out
Charles?
he was blind. He was kneeling on the floor with his hand in a drain. When I asked him what he was doing, he said his cat had crawled into the pipes, and he was trying to get her out. He was very happy when I offered to help. He said there was no way we could reach her from here, so if I was willing, I could make my way through the sewers and get her from the other end. He said he would turn off the water for as long as possible, but I would have to run, as the pipes would soon fill up again. I happily agreed. So he gave me a key. He said this will open all the sewer gates. Go from here, then down the ladder, and through the big door at the bottom.
Erstmal nach oben gucken, ob da noch mehr Müll ist. Was sonst? Da steht No Entry, also darf ich bestimmt nicht da rein. Ich will jetzt aber wissen, ob ich vielleicht doch da reinkomme. Ne, das geht nicht.
I better run.
Was? Oh, I better run. Und dann das. Ey, wie schnell soll ich denn? Oh nein. Ich fühle mich ein bisschen unter Druck gesetzt, ne? Schon wieder. Oh, echt jetzt? Oh. Ach, guck mal, da oben ist lauter Müll. Oh, guck mal, ich bin tot. No. 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 Oh. Ich glaube, manchmal ist Geduld nicht so meine Stärke. Heilige Makrele. Ah. Woran denn nur? Heilige. Oh. Nein, 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 nein. Oh. Oh nein. Ich habe ein Déjà-vu. Ah, shit. Wie war das mit der Müdigkeit und so? Mimimi. Ui, das war schon ein bisschen knapp, ja. Ich frag mich gerade. Nein, 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 nein. Oh. Ich wollte noch gar nicht hier rein. Wie soll ich denn da an der Seite hoch? Ah. Das ist ja gemein, ne? Eigentlich musst du den ganzen Müll aufsammeln, ne? Oh, echt jetzt? Nope. Nee. Warum hat er den Sprung nicht gemacht? No. Oh oh. Oh, ist halt nicht wahr, oder?
I found the old man's
Total
cat.
easy.
She was fine, if a little confused.
What?
I was horrified. It looked like me, but it shambled around like something from the film we watched on Halloween.
Okay. Deswegen hatten sie Angst vor ihm. Ob ich auf ihn draufspringen kann? Okay, kann ich nicht. Es ist nicht Super Mario.
The man was happy to
Wenigstens
have
habe ich die
his cat
Katze
back.
gerettet.
He looked so content with her sat on his lap. I told him about the thing I saw, but he just laughed and said, "Those bastard robots, they're always getting up through the pipes. Don't worry though, it'll never get through the big doors. If I had my way, we'd have blown up the lot of them when we had the chance." I wasn't sure what he meant, but I decided now wouldn't be the best time to tell him I was a robot. The man laughed and said, "Don't worry, I know who you are," and told me that he knew the old man. As we chatted, the man brewed himself some tea. He said that he had worked for the old man. In fact, he had lost his sight in one of the old man's factories. Strangely, he smiled at this thought. "He always did me right," he said. "When I had my accident, the old man said he would look after me. And he did. He always made sure I had enough money, and he let me move into this old pumping station on his land. Which reminds me, I have something here for you." He rummaged around behind a cupboard. Then he continued saying, "The old man wanted you to have this when you were old enough, but fate wouldn't allow it." He passed me a large box. It was empty. I thought about pretending to be excited, but the man said, "Wait a minute, it's empty, isn't it?" He slumped back in his chair. "I was robbed a few months ago," he said, almost in a whisper. "It's strange, they took practically anything metal, but left loads of food and a brand new saxophone." The man looked sad, so I thought I would try to change the subject. I told him about my quest to clean a million things. This at least made him smile. He said I was welcome to go back through the pipes anytime I wanted, as there were loads of old things in there that could be cleaned away.
Ich glaube, hinterfragen ist was Gutes. Wenn ich nochmal an diese Kanalisation komme und die anderen Sachen holen kann? Oh oh. Oh. No way. Oh oh. Vielleicht hätte ich da doch nicht rein sollen. Nein, jetzt bin ich zu hektisch.
I better run.
Irgendwie muss ich doch nach oben auf die andere Seite kommen. Weil hier brutzel ich. Ich verstehe es nicht. Das stimmt auch wieder. Oh no. Ach, wieder diese Ecke Part. muss doch irgendwie da oben an die Decke rankommen. Ah. Huch. Nein. No. Was stimmt denn nicht mit mir? Ich komme einfach nicht da oben ran. Ich glaube, ich muss wahrscheinlich irgendwann das Wasser abstellen oder so. Oder es kommt wahrscheinlich erst noch. Nein, die Tür war doch offen. Ich hab's gesehen. Die Tür war offen. Ah. Das kann gut sein, ja. Wer weiß, was die Handschuhe noch können. Weil ich glaube, mit den Handschuhen kann ich wahrscheinlich die Typen hier umboxen. Los, schnell wieder zurück. Nein, nein. Zurück, zurück. Ist noch irgendwas, was ich mitnehmen kann? Ich glaube nicht mehr. Ich glaube, ich mache mich mal auf die Suche nach den Handschuhen. Jetzt hier hinten auch reinkomme? Ja, ich habe ja den Schlüssel gekriegt, ne? Geil. Oh. Das war nicht der Plan. Entschuldigung. Dafür wollte ich gar nicht rumhüpfen. Der wird echt überall kleben, ne? Das sieht sogar hübsch aus. National Brownies Association. Das klingt lecker.
The gate was locked. I would need a key to open it.
Oh
The
nein.
gate was
Jetzt
locked.
habe ich hier auch keinen Schlüssel
I
für.
would need a key to open it. The gate was locked. I would need a key to open it.
Na toll. Ich brauche also einen Schlüssel. Huch. Also versuchen wir nochmal nach ganz oben zu gehen. Ich weiß nicht, ob ich da irgendwas verpasst hatte. Was war denn hier? Ah ne, hier war der Saxophonmann. Ich glaube, hier war ich noch nicht ganz oben, ne? Oder doch? Da drüben war ich noch nicht ganz oben. Meine Güte. Nicht, dass ich mich wieder ins Weltall katapultiere. vielleicht noch irgendwas, was ich übersehen habe? Irgendwie mag ich nicht zurück. Das ist bestimmt noch irgendwas anderes. Vielleicht mit dem Boot oder so. Uha. Oh Gott. Uh. Wow. Puh. Komme ich hier rein? Hier komme ich auch rein. Jawohl. Mal gucken, was wir hier finden. Müll. Bin begeistert. Okay. Alter Schwede, wie viel Müll da unten im Wasser rumschwimmt. Das bedeutet definitiv, man muss das Wasser irgendwo abpumpen können. Ob ich auf seinen Kopf springen kann? Nee, ist keine gute Idee. Und jetzt haben die auch noch hochmoderne Jetpacks hier. Ach du meine Güte. Es gibt nur einen Weg, das rauszufinden. Ja. Oh. Huch. No. Hm. Komme ich? Ach, da! Guck einer an. Der kommt ganz schön schnell runtergekracht, ne? Oh! No! Oh Gott. Das ist so ganz der richtige Weg. Ich komme. Ach scheiße, ich glaube, muss ich doch unter ihm durchspringen, aber er kommt immer so schnell runter. Ja, ist sogar leichter. Was ist denn das? Ach, die Handschuhe. Ich wette, ich brauche das hier für die Handschuhe. Ich brauche die Handschuhe dafür. Zzz. Ach so, oh nee, echt jetzt?
I had to be careful. The electricity was going haywire in some places.
Hä? Hier war ich doch schon mal. Ich würde doch sagen, hier war ich doch schon mal. Huch. Hm. Ganz am Anfang, ne? Ich weiß jetzt nicht, ob ich wirklich ganz zum Anfang nochmal muss. Ich glaube, ich gehe nochmal raus. Oh nein. Das schnellere raus war hier.
I took the fisherman's boat to the mainland.
Ich habe aber auch gerade gedacht, ich glaube,
The
so
fisherman
langsam
was
ist ich
right.
Feierabend machen.
Everything was in pieces. Everything
So
had
langsam
been
wird ich ein bisschen
destroyed.
müde. Oh
I docked the
Mann.
boat in some ruins. They must have once been a town.
Das erinnert mich an Deponia. Sieht auch ein bisschen aus wie Deponia. Da ist nur kleine Berge. Aber eins haben sie definitiv immer hier. Strom. Jetzt. An der Wand kann ich nicht langlaufen. Ah. Okay. Das stimmt. Gott. Ich kann das kleine Boot hier benutzen.
I was confronted by a lovable fat old dog. He almost looked pleased to see me. Suddenly, 3 men appeared holding large guns. Or at least 2 men and what looked to be a pregnant woman.
Oh shit.
Incredibly, it was Mr. Silton. I thought you'd been shut down, he said. I mean, it's been years. I'm not really sure what happened, I replied. I then told him about me cleaning a million things. He laughed and said, nothing changes. He then showed me into what was surprisingly a really nice house. Please excuse my husband, said the pregnant lady. I'm Edwina, but everyone calls me Eddie. I believe you know this idiot. And that's Preston. We've met, said the small man.
Had Dad
It was me
Kennedy's
that
shirt
delivered
on.
that thing, remember? All you used to deliver was weed, mumbled Mr. Silton as he put the dog dish on the
Van
floor.
Halen?
And I was there that night, when this twat was off his face on mushrooms. Thanks for letting me and the dog stay, by the way. Yeah, well, we like the dog, said Mrs. Silton. And I suppose I've got you to thank for us meeting. What with you giving Barry those dodgy magic mushrooms? She pulled out an old photograph. It was one that Heather had taken the night I had saved Mr. Silton.
Ah, die Krankenschwester.
It reminded me of everyone else, so I asked what had happened to them. Mr. Silton said Alice had a small place in the countryside. The professor had holed up in one of the old man's factories. Mr. Deck was, believe it or not, now a presenter on the only state television channel. And Heather and her mother lived on a government compound where they both worked. I asked about the old man, surprised that Mr. Silton hadn't mentioned him. He's dead, said Mr. Silton. Sorry, I thought you knew. Anyway, said Mr. Preston, I thought you said that robot thing found the mushrooms for you, in that hoarder's manky old barn. Mr. Silton looked embarrassed. Well, said Mrs. Silton, I guess we've got you to thank for getting us together then. Time for bed, I think, said Mr. Silton. Make yourself comfy, and we'll see you in the morning.
Ooh. Oh, ich muss ihn steuern. Oh nein. Hey, warte auf mich. Okay. Whew.
The next day, I thought it might be a good time to ask about the war. Judging by the look on everyone's faces, it wasn't. Well, the war, said Mr. Silton. Barry interrupted his wife. Can I see you for a minute? And dragged Mr. Silton out of the room, leaving me with Mr. Preston. All of a sudden, Mr. Silton appeared. How about a tune-up, he said. Mrs. Silton started to make some food, and Mr. Preston was playing with the dog, leaving me to chat with Mr. Silton. I said that I really wanted to see everyone else, But Mr. Silton said that it wouldn't be that easy. Traveling now, especially for a robot, is complicated. Go back to the house, you could even do some cleaning. Wait there and I'll work out a way to get you to each of them. I told him that I couldn't get into the main house because the hallway ceiling had collapsed. I have just the thing, said Mr. Silton, as he pulled some sort of card out of his pocket. If you can get into the caves under the house, you can use this security pass to get into the old man's laboratories. You can get into the main house that way. I was so excited, I would be able to get back into my old room. I said thanks, and made my way to the front door. Also, I think you might be able to help us out, said Mr. Silton, but we'll meet up back at the old man's house in a couple of days. You head there and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Ich glaube, da das jetzt hier Kapitel 4 ist, mache ich an der Stelle Feierabend. Ui. Also, wenn ich mir das da unten angucke, dann habe ich Schuhe und es gibt noch ganz viele andere Items. Kann auf jeden Fall noch lustig werden. Aber ich glaube, an der Stelle ist Feierabend für heute. So. Ein schönes Spiel. Jetzt ist es 0:30 Uhr. Ich glaube, ich spiele noch eine kleine Runde Rocket League gleich. Oder 2 oder 3. Dann ist aber auch Feierabend. Aber mit Story ist erstmal genug. Aber es ist niedlich, keine Frage. Ich würde sagen, bis gleich. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss.